If you think that online therapy services might be a really good option for your school, but you're not sure how to start that conversation with your school leadership, don't worry, we've got you covered. Hi, I'm Mark Wallenwine, and I'm the Director of Marketing with Lighthouse Therapy. So if you're wondering, how do I start that conversation around you think that online therapy services would be a good fit for your school? Don't worry, we've got a solution for you. I've got a templated swipe file that you can use to send an email out to your leadership that talks about the problem that you are facing in your school, how Lighthouse can help with that problem, and then how you as a school could experience just whatever you would define as a successful working relationship by bringing Lighthouse Therapy in to help you. Ultimately, what we care about is you being successful. So let's dive in, and I want to show you what this email template looks like. Also, when we're done, I'll show you how you can customize it so that way it just strikes the right tone, so it sounds like it was actually written from you. Let's dive in. So here's the email template I was referring to. And everything highlighted in yellow is where you kind of get to put in the information that matters to you. So you can put in the first name of the person you're addressing this to, and then I would suggest putting in some type of appropriate greeting based on your relationship. So if you have a formal relationship, be formal. If you're friends, be friendly. And then you can put in your school name we are experiencing, and then put in whatever problem you have, staff shortages or the inability to hire, or a student or group of students with exceptional needs, and just insert that right there. So, however, I believe I've found a solution. There's a company called Lighthouse Therapy that does online therapy services for schools. I believe we can solve our problem of restate the problem because they might have skimmed and missed it above, recruiting the therapist, HR and onboarding, clinical support staff, assessments and protocols, software and tools for the therapist, and most importantly, doing the therapy services. The best part with everything being done online is we will only be charged for things relating to therapy. No paying for windshield time, benefits packages, or the miscellaneous expenses with supporting an in-person therapist. So right here, I just want to give you the basics of like how you can talk about Lighthouse Therapy and how ultimately, especially with this paragraph here, just give you some talking points that really relate to budget and how this can potentially, in a positive way, help your budget, especially if you're talking to a principal, superintendent, or someone who manages the finances. So right here, this last paragraph, working with Lighthouse will allow us to immediately remedy the problem of, and then I would suggest restating the problem. It might sound excessive, but with emails, people tend to skim and they tend to go all the way to the bottom, see if there's an action step, and then they go back up. So they might actually see this first. So can you imagine, and then insert what you'd find being most successful here. It might sound kind of funny joking right here where I put in this line as one of your examples, not having to worry about all the Karens blowing up our inbox this year. I say it kind of jokingly, but after working with a lot of schools across the country, I know that this is something that's a lot of y'all have told me that has been a frustration point. So just be honest, fill this in with really what would be genuinely like a success to you or the leadership that you're communicating with. And then on our website for lighthouse-therapy.com, you can fill out an estimate, and I'd recommend that you get that estimate and then attach it to this email. And right here, it says that you've attached it to this email. And then last but not least, it's best to have what's called a call to action. So that's why this last paragraph is giving something for the person to do. So the example here is asking if you'd like to schedule an appointment with Lighthouse and seeing if they'd like to be a part of that. And then truly inserting the date and time that you'd meet with Lighthouse and then be a part of that meeting. If you feel like you're not ready for that, you could swap out this paragraph and just say, hey, would you like to meet about this? And then insert date and time, and you meet about it internally first. Now, this might not really reflect your personal tone. So the next page of this shows you how you can use AI. And I know for some of you, you might hate that solution, but it really is a fantastic tool that can do things really quickly for you. I recommend using Claude, not ChatGPT. Claude, I find, has a more human tone, and you can really fine tune the tone of the email. So here, it's already kind of, with Claude, you can tell it kind of its personality of how it needs to write. And then in there, you could also take all these things where, like, replace the first name. You can replace it with, I chose John. And then each of these highlighted sections, I just put in specifically what I would want to have replaced. And I went ahead and used Claude to have it generate for me an email. I'm taking all of this information here, the Claude prompt, and then again, everything with yellow, I just replaced with the information that I would want in the email as an example. And I just copy and pasted it into the text box for Claude. And you'll see that immediately it replaced the yellow sections with what I put in there. Now, in this example, I feel like it's a little too formal. So if you feel like it's too formal, you can literally, all you have to say is, great, please write me a variation that is much less formal in tone. And guess what? Claude will do that. Now, this one is incredibly less formal in tone in this example. Let's take this example right here for this sentence. No more Karen meltdowns in the inbox. Therapy is covered, baby. It's pretty informal. So if you want something that kind of strikes a balance between the two, you could say something like, this is almost perfect. Tone down the informality by 15%. I think we've got it. So then you'll see things like that sentence that I just referred to about the Karens like this. I think it would go a long way in preventing those dreaded Karen meltdowns in the inbox. Therapy would be covered, no problem. So you can see how it will adjust even the tone of the email. And hopefully you can get something with very little effort to sound just like you. Then you can just copy and paste this and put that into your email and send it with little or no effort. Send that first initial email and get that conversation going with your leadership team about why you believe online therapy services might be a good fit for your school. For other helpful content like this, please feel free to check out the rest of the Lighthouse Therapy website here at lighthouse-therapy.com. And I hope you have a blessed day.